Let's see. Yo, is everything working? I feel like it's been a minute since I streamed, so every single time I don't stream for like a week, I feel like I don't know what I'm doing, but what's up everybody? Neptune, Daniel, welcome to the stream. Yeah, it's been off season, as you can tell. Been kind of not streaming as much. OnePlus winning Forts. There's that big KVK to watch, but I don't have an account in there, so I've just been chilling, watching Only Farmer, and Only Farmer has been killing it with the streams. And 12, so it's been fun. What's good, Black Panther? How you doing, brother? Panther, have you been streaming? No, you haven't. Yeah, we've been dead, huh? In 2268, just chilling. Yo, Ollie, what's up, man? So yeah, I'm just want to have a stream real quick because the video that we created for the patch was, I feel like it went over some things, but it's supposed to be kind of the patch I'm talking about is this Winter Sale patch. It wasn't like it was an overview, but I want to go into the details about the specific stats for armaments. And when I was calculating it, I'm like, dang, this is actually a lot of stuff, like a lot of boosts, to where it was actually like 2 full pages worth of stats to talk about. So we'll be going over that and answering any questions that I can. Baku, Wally Weaver, what's up? New profile picture I see. Marcos, MV. We'll wait for the people to trickle in here. Hopefully you guys have all been well. And my end, just been super busy with work. I know I said I was going full-time YouTube, but that's going to be in a month. And the thing is, when you know, let your work know that you're leaving, they're like, actually, you got to do all this stuff before you leave. So, just been working on that during this off season. There isn't too much really going on. Karak ceremony, was able to do that. I'm not doing MGE, although I somehow have 2.1 mil points. Don't know how that happened. More than gems currently, but man, I could never get any of the good gem quests. I don't know, I'm just unlucky, but I'm just waiting for that. Hopefully you guys in the chat let me know when reset's about to hit so that I could finish up my my gems here. I got 13 more to spend. 15 more K. The extra boost you get off iconic accessories is nasty. Like iconic ring is even more worth. Yeah, iconic ring's pretty crazy. The stats are pretty insane, and the costs aren't what do you call it? They're not finalized yet, so we'll have to see what happens there. But yeah, let's go ahead and start this up then. I created a bit of a, not really a PowerPoint, but a PDF file of the trends. And this is from the video. This is the trends of the iconic system. Where, let me pull up the chat on this side. Yeah, what's up, Momo? So, level 1 is the current iconic that we have. Let me go ahead and, I think this is blocking, right? Event list. There you go. So level 1 increases. Level 1 is like the current stats that we have, like the plus 3% defense, plus 3% attack, plus 3% health. We can go ahead and check it out. It's already in the game. It's been in the game for like a year. Oh, this is like my secondary upgrade. Nothing's iconic here. So for example, like this is iconic, has 3% health for pants, 3% health for boots, 3% attack for what is this? Gloves and weapon, and then 3% defense for chest, as well as helmets, and then 3% base health, any troop type for, what do you call it? Accessories. Can you not stream from the test server? No, I'm not allowed to stream from the test server anymore. We're only allowed to make a video. But yeah, I can't stream from the test server. Hey, what's up, As Death? Thanks for the 5 gifties. GG's in the chat. Let me do this.
Hooray!
Yo, as that, thank you so much for the 5 gifties. Baku, Daniel, Man, Quizja, and Akio. Hopefully enjoy your emotes, man. GG's in the chat for as death for sure. Milky Way. Might have to max Milky Way for archers, have 0 BP for better chess piece, but 5 for Milky Way. I mean, hey man, that's actually true. The pieces that you get from... do you think Iconics will actually change the pieces that you get based on blueprints? I don't know. Because the 6-piece archer set's still really good. Especially now that we know. Because there's this like whole rumor about how the next archer commander is going to be smite damage and everyone's going to be doing smite damage. But we saw... I don't think Herman's in the game yet, but we saw in the skills that Herman is a skill damage commander. In fact, it's an AoE like Tommy debuff where you have a debuff that onto the enemy troops that allows you to do more skill damage. So I think archers for sure are gonna stay skill damage, and because of that, the 6-piece set's actually still really good, which I'm really happy about because I crafted 2 of them. I crafted 2 of them. But the Milky Way and all that kind of stuff, if we go into the tavern here and we go into the reward list, the reason why you get a lot of these is because if you go into equipment chest rewards, you actually get some blueprints from the keys here. You're still limited by materials mainly. Yeah, materials are definitely going to be a big... what do you call it? Roadblock. So for example, if you open up your keys, I didn't get a good one, but I did get a legendary blueprint out of 589 keys. Oh, let's go! This is actually better than the blueprints for me. The materials, we got 2 legendaries. That's actually huge. Off 500 keys, that's a dub. So you got that insider info. I mean, we got a sneak peek. It's honestly like the patch is gonna be out in 3 days, so we got like a 3-day head start. Hey, what's up, Doggo of War? Welcome to the stream. Mountain Crushers. This is not really good, but yeah, you can get blueprints from your equipment chest keys. Yo, what's up, Alex? Man, this Alex kid. Ever since she's joined the KD, just always in VC, but it's vibes. Whoops. Anyways. So yeah, I honestly, because I already have my stuff crafted, my personal plan is that I'm probably going to be iconicizing my 3 main sets. So I have this cap set, for example. I'm probably going to be iconicizing this, especially since it's all crit. I think you still get extra bonuses for things being crit. Again, the server that we saw is not final product, so there's things subject to change, but in that server, crit gear gave more iconic bonuses, like 0.5% extra attack or something like that, so. Will of D, what's up, man? And Bloody Madness. Apparently we're supposed to burn you, but don't worry, you're safe here, you're safe here. Only Farmer won't be here. Can't get you here. I'll be your umbrella. F2P. The thing is, though, is my thoughts on it is the bundle, like, even mid spenders are you're not gonna get iconic level 5 for a very, very long time. I think the Krakens, like the biggest of the biggest spenders, will be able to get to iconic level 5 like ASAP. Everyone else will actually be it'll be pretty tough for everyone to get to 5. Maybe like the whales and the high spenders could get to level 3 or 4 pretty fast, but shut it, Bacon. Quit crying, Bacon. Iconic level 5 on 5 March is going to take way too long. Exactly. So I'm probably going to be iconicizing this, my like 3 main sets. This is my 2nd main set. Don't have as many crits as on my Cav gear, but I mean, it's all good. And then I'm going to be iconicizing this. It's probably going to be the play. So level 555, and then all the rest of the gear here. Yeah, my Olympia marches are going to be stacked though with 3 marches. All the rest of the, like these guys and these guys, I'm still running perps on my other marches. They're gonna be running perps forever at this point because I feel like I'm just gonna be using all my materials for the longest time now, or for the rest of, I don't know, the year, maybe 2 years on iconicizing my stuff because it's gonna be really expensive. I think Chase will get Iconic 5 before the Krakens. I got so much patience. I used up all my mats 1 week after I said I'd save it up. Yeah. Last KVK, I spent so many materials. I literally crafted I crafted this full set. Literally this full set with Redline. This could have all been stuff that I used on Iconics, but I mean, it is what it is, you know? It is what it is. But currently, this is what I got stocked up. It's not the best. It's not the worst either. Let's go open up some of this stuff. Animal bones, nah. Ew. Like, the thing that's really important is that you play all of the Soroli and all that kind of stuff. The stuff that give you materials. It actually stacks up over time. I have an Iconic Crystal. Oh, interesting. I'll save it for now. Is it possible to test new equipment in a simulator program? Probably. But I'm not like a simulator person. I don't see bad for FTP. I mean, if Taki says it's not bad, she's like one of the biggest FTPs. But I guess it's just there's more of a gap with equipment now, where this used to be the only base stats for Iconics. This is all you got from Iconics. There's still a lot, right? You still get... There's still a lot of stuff. But look at... Here, like, I'll show you guys. We literally have a full Cav Iconic sets. It's literally 1 page. No, 1 page continued to 2 pages. And this is all just the Iconic level 5. Iconic level 5s, there's so much text. And it's essentially just a bunch of 10% chances to do a bunch of stuff. And we'll get into this in a bit. Crafting gold and Iconic 1 on them should be better value. After iconicizing the main set, they make sense. If you haven't noticed, reduce how many Iconic crystals you get now. You used to give them out. How do they reduce it? I know that a lot of people were able to keep up with the achievements. Like the champion achievements used to give Iconic crystals, and I still have a couple to get here. Like 3 more legendary pieces, and then a lot more crits. Oh my goodness, 40 pieces with special talents is gonna be, I don't know if I'll ever, like, I'll have like grandchildren by the time that happens. You know if they will reduce the material costs for crafting? I haven't heard any talks about them reducing material costs. New equipment would cost so many people to quit or go F2P. I'm 2 off 18 crits. Damn. I'm a couple years behind in gear myself, so it's not like I'm talking ish. They gotta play / grind competitively or fight in lower seeds. Yeah, it's... I feel like the Iconic system's like a whole new type of gear, you know what I mean? Where we had the equipment system, and then for the longest time that was the cap. They introduced the KVK pieces, but after that, like ever since this equipment system came out, these have been the creme de la creme. These have been the top, and now after a couple of years, they're finally increasing that ceiling again, just so that the Krakens have something to chase. And I guess even for myself, after I fully legendaried both these sets, I was just gonna start refining, like kind of like the Redline thing, where all of his streams when he used to stream is all of like a bunch of refining and all that stuff. But now instead of refining, I think it's way more important to iconicize things, you know what I mean? So I'm gonna be iconicizing all of these things, and then probably crafting gear for these after, and then iconicizing. I don't know, we'll see. After this new equipment update, I think I shouldn't even go to a B seed. The thing is, like, fighting kingdoms like 960 or like that have a lot of whales, single alliance KDs is gonna be really, it's gonna be even more punishing because of how strong it increases the cap of each march, right? Yeah, I agree that new gear would have been pretty bad. So for those that don't know, how we got to this iconic system is originally like Lilith wanted to create new gear. So instead of, for example, these set pieces, they're going to create a new set. So there'd be like a new cav set, but that would essentially, imagine like using your legendary materials and grinding and like expertise, not expertising, but what do you call it, critting all of your gear, and then all of a sudden they added new gear that replaces the old gear. That was their initial change, and there was so much negativity and so much I guess pushback from the community that instead of creating new gear that would make the old gear obsolete or not best in slot anymore, they just made a system so that the current gear could be upgraded. Yeah, it was gonna be like level 55, yeah. I don't know anything about 3366. Peacemaker's still here, Josh, yeah. I guess we could do, after the iconic thing, we could go ahead and look at the rankings for SSPs. Oh, not R4, don't ask. There you go. I have a few epics, but it needs to make legendary. I'm pretty sure iconicizing will be more worth it. In my opinion, yeah, I'm honestly gonna leave these, because what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna keep these purples for now, because I don't even have these iconic. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna keep iconicizing like these sets, for example. I already iconicized the archer set, my secondary archer set. I'm gonna start iconicizing probably in my secondary cav set. So once I get 4 iconic crystals, and then after I iconicize these 4 pieces that are not iconic, and after I iconicize these 5 pieces that are not iconic, and I have like iconic crystals left over, that's probably when I'm gonna finish up my sets, you know what I mean? Because I have 9 pieces of gear, legendary gear, that I still need crystals for. So I don't think upgrading from epic to legendary isn't like, the reason why epic gear is kind of like obsolete is because of the iconic system, the original iconic system that they brought out with the extra 3% of stats on each thing. But because I don't have all the crystals that I need to even iconicize all the gear that I have now, I'm probably not going to craft anything new until I catch up with iconic crystals on the current gear that I have, if that makes sense. Can't believe you haven't expertise in Margaret yet. She's meta? Yeah, one day. I'm FTP, a really low spender who buys gem supply or crystal mine at start of KBK. I run 2 archer marches. IDK if I should go to BC KD. Do I show up and fight and chain? I'm gonna say that yes, the iconic system is gonna change the scope of open field, but it's not gonna be unplayable. And we could go ahead and look at the stats here. Let's go ahead and look at the stats. So I made a little bit of a PowerPoint here, or a PDF document that summarizes what the iconic system does, because in my video I didn't really, I mean, I did list over this, but I kind of wanted to create a clearer picture of what a full iconic set would be, and the bonuses that you get. So level 1 is the base stats, level 2 is the increase or it ignores enemy stats. We'll take a look at that later. Level 3 of iconic is always unit capacity or troop capacity. For level 4, it varies. So the weapons, helmet, chest, pants, and accessories deal damage to field troops or to rallies and garrisons depending on the piece of gear. The gloves increase troop capacity, the boots increase movement speed, and level 5 is conditional based on the piece of gear, based on what gear it is. Like, level 5 is so complicated that it's just a conditional effect. And we'll take a look at that later. Yo, what's up, Floppy? I'm gonna make gear for another month and worry about iconic system. Yeah, I would definitely say that legendary gear, if you're a newer player, the way that I would approach it is you still need to create your sets. So like I wouldn't like just for example make one piece of gear and make it iconic level 5 before you make another piece of gear. Yeah, you still have to make your base sets. And then from there, like just make gear based off how many iconic crystals you have is kind of the way that I would do it. Although I guess for mid spenders, low spenders, it'd be really tough because like eventually it'll catch up, but 3 to 4% base health isn't 3% of stats, it's 3% that benefits you 1 to 1.2. Well, it should make it so special talent equipment benefit from more iconic tier. Panda, from what I saw in the test server, that's what they have it as, but again, disclaimer, everything that's on this slide is like it's what's on the test server, it's not essentially what's going to be on live. But I think it's a good base point that if it's on the test server that it could potentially make it to live. We'll have to see. Aim for crit first or go for iconic level. I will definitely say you should go for iconics first. The reason being is going for crit, it costs the same amount of materials as iconic level. Unless you crit. Unless you like get extra percentages like 75%, 100%. But that's kind of rare. But I would probably go for iconic levels first just because you have guaranteed value over time. But that's just me. Iconic like rings get more boost there. People just gotta take it one march at a time. Yeah, you just gotta take it one march at a time for sure. But yeah, so this is the stats on this test server. Sorry, my dog's barking because my parents just got home. The Ring of Doom / Horn of Fury is a KVK accessory as troop base health 3%. This is a normal iconic level 1. Troop health 1%. No, it's not percent actually. This is troop base health by 3. And then troop health 1%. Unit capacity 1.5%. Damage to rally / garrisons plus 2%. And then 10% chance to deal / take 5% less normal damage or skill damage is the 5th skill. So that's just as a reference point. So that's gonna be one accessory. You multiply that by 2. That's 6 base health, 2% troop health, 3% unit capacity, etc., etc. Just double everything. Proud of the con. So this is a KVK Cav helmet. Cav base defense 3, cavalry attack 1.5%, unit capacity 650 plus 650, damage to open field troops 1.5%, 10% chance for next skill damage to deal 6.5% skill damage. So that is the Pride of the Con helmet in a nutshell. Heavy armor of the Hellish Wasteland, which is a Cav set chest. Cav base defense plus 3, enemy health ignored plus 1%, unit capacity plus 500, damage to field troops plus 1%, and 10% chance to deal 5% counterattack damage for 2 seconds, cooldown 5 seconds. For Sacred Dominion, Cav base attack 3%, enemy defense ignored plus 1%, unit capacity plus 1000, damage to field troops plus 3% is actually pretty huge. That's like 3% all damage to the troops on the open field, and 10% chance to deal 6.5% damage for 2 seconds, cooldown 5 seconds. I'm just gonna go through all of these, and then we have a summary at the end. Navarre's Control, Cav based attack plus 3, Cav defense plus 1%, unit capacity plus 300, damage to field troops plus 0.5%, 10% chance to reduce target march speed by 3% for... No, I don't think it's... Is it damage to field troops? I think this is unit capacity plus 0.5% actually for Navarre's Control. And then 10% reduce target march speed by 3% for 3 seconds. After the Dawn, Cav base health 3 by 3, Cav health by 2%, unit capacity by 500, damage to field troops plus 1%, 10% chance to reduce next skill damage taken by 5%. And then finally the boots. And I actually think the boots are going to be the best of the best to upgrade iconic wise because of the march speed. With 3 base health of 3, cav attack by 1%, unit capacity by 3%, march speed by 5%, and 5% march speed plus and 1% defense outside alliance territory. So that was a mouthful because that's like 8 pieces of gear. Well, 7, but you multiply this by 2 because the ring and horn essentially give the same, they give the exact same buffs. But if we go ahead and look at the full cav set iconics, so this is the recap. Cav base stats 6%. I mean cav base stats 6 rather. So that is 6 attack, 6 defense, 6 health, and troop base health by 6. Cav attack 2.5%, cav health 2%, and defense 1%. Ignores 2.5% defense, 1% health. Troops and increases troop health by 2%. Unit capacity plus 3,250, and then unit capacity plus 3%. March speed 5%, damage to field troops by 6.5%, damage to rally / garrison 4%, and unit capacity 0.5. And then this is the level 5, so 10% chance to deal / take 5% less normal damage or skill damage. This is going to be from the accessories here. The ring and the horn. 10% chance to deal / take 5% less normal skill damage. 5% march speed, 1% defense outside alliance territory, 10% chance to reduce next skill damage taken by 5%, 10% chance to reduce target march speed by 3% for 3 seconds, 10% chance to deal 6.5% damage for 2 seconds, cooldown 5 seconds, and then 10% chance to deal 5% counterattack for 2 seconds, and 10% chance to deal next skill plus 6.5% skill damage. It's a mouthful, and it's a lot of stats. Like this is like I gotta breathe a little bit. I gotta like breathe. You know what I mean? Feels like a uni lecture. Yeah, I feel like I'm a prof right now, honestly. And this is gonna be the same for every unit type, where instead of, for example, if you're gonna do infantry, instead of cav, you just replace everything with infantry. I think like one of these skills are different, where instead of dealing skill damage, you might do, for example, counterattack damage for infantry chests or something, but it's not anything too crazy. Everything's pretty much the same, just put infantry for the cav stuff. And then same thing for archers, put archers for the cav stuff. So that's the thing, is that most of these pieces do the exact same thing, just depends on the unit type with the gear or the iconics. But yeah, so it's pretty. So this is level 1, this is level 2, this is level 3, this is level 4, and then level 5 is all of this. It's a lot of 10% chances to do a lot of things. But ultimately though, I feel like the level 5s, they're more important for rally and garrison and less important for open field. I think getting like the extra damage from level 4 is going to be super important though. Like 6.5% all damage on the open field is pretty noticeable. Are you sitting on a lot of iconic crystals? I have 1 iconic crystal currently, so I need more iconics to iconic all of my legendary materials or legendary gear. Is Herman a must invest for archers? I think Herman's either the best or the second best archer commander. What's the cost to fully upgrade a set to level 5? Costs are not, I don't think they're finalized yet, so I can't disclose it. But I predict it's gonna be essentially like refining gear, which for example, the refinement system right now is, it costs, if you get 25% over and over and over again, which, you know, most people do. Wait, sorry, let me, before I start talking to them, let me finish my point here. So for example, if I want to refine a Shield of the Eternal Empire like 4 times, it would cost 180 materials. So I think for iconic level 2 to 5, it'll approximately cost like 185 materials or 180 materials and 4 blueprints. So it'll cost double what it currently costs to craft. At least we're getting guaranteed stuff, not like armaments. That's also one point that I wanted to mention as well, is I like the system a lot more than the armament system, because the armament system is just a bunch of rolling and hoping it works out. But then at least for this is incremental progress, even though it's gonna cost a lot, but it's a goal to reach. But yeah. So now that we know all of the different gear and kind of what each gear gives, I actually wanted to create a tier list just to help out. And this is not final, but you know, just to kind of think about what you should be investing in first in terms of priorities. Because yeah, like the bonuses are pretty drastic. And I think the costs, for example, the cost for the KVK pieces are going to be really, really expensive, or the cost for the weapons in general are going to be really expensive, because to craft the weapons, it costs a lot of materials, if that makes sense. It costs like 90 legendary materials to craft a weapon. Meanwhile, to craft a glove, it costs 40. Meaning that I would predict that the iconics for this is going to be a lot cheaper than the iconics for this. And even though that you get more stuff, like 3% all damage is a lot, but at least, you know, you could probably work on, you know, the boots or the pants and all that kind of stuff before you get into the KVK weapons. And the thing is, for the KVK weapons anyways, you're gonna have to play like 4 KVKs to get blueprints, so you're not gonna be able to get to level 5 right away regardless. Leadership set iconic bonuses, I didn't get into the leadership set. I didn't get anything from the leadership set, sadly. How many materials in total are you? I think I already said that. But yeah, so from my estimations, it's gonna be, the weapon's pretty good. I don't know, like what do you guys think? Have health, but I actually think the boots are S tier in terms of investments. The march speed, imagine this, extra march speed for cavalry, for infantry especially, plus 10% march speed is going to be huge. And it's easier to get the blueprints for the boots from egg event, from the Smithy's special event that's going to be coming up. So I would definitely try to get as much boots blueprints as possible, because the 5% march speed, the 10% march speed from level 5 is actually going to be pretty big. And one of the biggest things, especially for infantry, is how your march placement, right? So let me actually write down this tier list. Okay, there you go. I made a tier list in Tier List Maker, and this isn't for specifically cavalry. I think this is applicable to all the different pieces of gear, because as I said, each set essentially does the same thing, except you just, instead of putting cavalry for instead of just putting cavalry, you just insert infantry and it does pretty much the same stuff. So for boots, I put S tier, because boots, whoops, What happened? Whoops, wrong one. Boots, they give 10% march speed, which is huge, especially for infantry and for archers. Cavalry is not too high of a priority, but 10% march speed is huge. And the boots are going to be cheaper than the rest of the equipment. The boots and the gloves are going to be the cheapest pieces to upgrade, if it follows the same conventions as crafting. So it costs less materials, plus you get 10% march speed. So that's gonna be huge. I think boots are gonna be really good. Second, so I think boots is by itself in S tier for value. I don't know what would be next. I actually think 10% reduce march speed. I think weapons just so much skill, so much damage, you know what I mean? That's so much. 3% damage for iconic level 4 is actually huge. So you kind of want to hit that as soon as possible. So I'll probably put weapon and helmet second here. It is gonna cost more. Honestly, after boots, it doesn't really matter too much.